Oh, we are the greatest sports has to offer. Michael Jordan ain't my GOAT. Oh, that's LeBron James. Clap my fingers and all of a sudden we have balance in the league now.
Oh my goodness!
Come on, man. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Of course, I need to see my king come out on top.
You can't be serious.
He's too strong.
Oh, that man hungry. Oh, he is hungry, man.
Kiss the baby.
It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. That's got to be the perfect intro for this, right? I mean, I haven't dropped the show, me personally, for NBA in forever, and the topic is about the SWAC. And that's all about change right now. That's what the SWAC is literally going through, a change movement. So I felt like that was appropriate for today's show. With me today, I couldn't do it without my boy, Mr. Trey Wicks, Mr. Liftoff Prep himself. How you doing there, brother?
Well, besides the intro, I was doing pretty good before that. But yeah, we're here to get into a very, very hot topic right now.
I mean, you know I can't help myself but to sing. I've been singing since high school, man.
That's the truth. I ain't gonna lie on you. That's the truth. You swear you see breezy, but
hey, I'm working on it. Don't you worry about it. But let's get into today's show, because what happened today is something that's probably going to be talked about all week, and it's probably going to carry on here and there throughout the season, especially in the SWAC ball and the SWAC conference. For those of you who may have missed it, we had a coach's exchange. I'm not going to say an altercation. We had a coach exchange at the end of the Jackson State, Alabama State game between Coach Prime and Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. If you cue up the video, Wicks, you can kind of see some hostility going on, but it wasn't. If you don't know about it, you probably wouldn't blink twice, on it. Here we have the video, so for anybody who hasn't seen it, take a look here, and then we'll continue to break it down a little bit more for you. So here it is. The game's over. As always, the coaches come, do their handshakes, their hugs, a little comment, walk their.
you swear everything was good until you try to bring him in.
It was that hug. He didn't want that brotherly hug, and he just walks away.
Obviously, his players were with him about it, so they're a united front at least.
Yeah, it was clearly something he had already discussed, with his team pre-game.
They disrespect us.
Right. It's no reason for us to show any real love, So both coaches touched on it, obviously, in their presser. So let's take a look.
Well, I guess me being up front is just like I thought it was a lot of disrespect the whole week, and so you're not going to be disrespectful the whole week in the media. We didn't talk in the pregame. I was out there the whole time at the 50-yard line. He walked through our whole our whole huddle on our end zone. He came a long way around to get to his side of the field in the pregame. Thought that wasn't classy at all. And so in the postgame, I'm not about to give you the Obama bro. I'm going to shake your hand. And I'm gonna go on. I'm always be respectful.
Oh, Baba Bro, that's hilarious.
Eddie Robinson, those guys, Reno Castle. I'm living on the shoulders of the SWAC. He ain't SWAC.
Oh,
I'm SWAC. He ain't SWAC. So he's in the conference doing a great job. Can't knock that. Got a great team. Son should be up for the Heisman Trophy winner. I love Shakur. Great player. I love what he's doing for the conference. Probably one of the best that he had since that Steve McNair when he was in there. Love all that. Come here and disrespect me and my team and my school. And then when the bro up, shake my hand and get the hell on. Period. You got the W. Great job. I hope he comes back next year. I pray he don't get a Power 5 job. We can play them next year in Jackson. And I pray they put us for their damn home.
Coach, would you describe it? Were you just trying to pull away from his handshake there?
Yeah, I'm just pulling away. I mean, we handshaked and that was it. I mean, it ain't no need for no embrace. You know, we ain't friends. He ain't never called me. I ain't never called him. A great player. Shit, everybody wanted to goddamn be prime time as a little kid. All right, great player, all that. Played against him, got tons of respect for the guy. Doing a great job as a coach, but you can't do all that stuff all week. And then you come back, put your backup quarterback, and you want to run a hitch and go to try to put more points on the field. Shit's disrespect. Game was out of line. 40 seconds left. We had no timeouts. Take a damn knee. You want to try to run a hitch and go. So we started blitzing. We're going to knock him out the game, too. That's how we got to play. Ain't no quarters given. So you want to do that, don't come with me and try to bro hug me like we're friends. We ain't friends. You didn't shake my hand before the game. Why you shake my hand after the game? Period. That's it.
One of the comments that kind of disturbed me out of all the comments that I'm not SWAC. Who is? I got time today. Who is SWAC? If I ain't SWAC, who is SWAC? If I ain't SWAC, who is SWAC? If I ain't SWAC, who is SWAC? Baby, who is? One more.
Man.
Hey man, I love Coach Dion, dog. But I'm gonna let you take first dibs at this one. What you think about it?
First of all, there's some sour grapes over on the Alabama State side. My goodness. My thing is, how can you be mad if they don't want to need the ball? That's not their responsibility. I understand it's sportsmanship, all that. That's not Deion's responsibility. His responsibility is to make sure his team is ready to go at all times. So he put his backup in, put them in a situation, late game situation, and, he ran a hit, you go. Did he score, though? I mean, what are we crying about here?
No,
Second,
he didn't score.
Second, I love the little beef they got, but to say he's not SWAC, who is SWAC? What would your dad say about you calling that man not SWAC? We're going to talk about who his dad is later, but what would he say about you calling that man not SWAC? That dude has brought so much attention to HBCU football. When we were growing up, HBCU football was not on TV.
No.
Since Deion got there, HBCU football is on every ESPN station.
Yep.
And that's only because of the excitement he brought to it. Now they got talent. The talent's been there. But he's bringing new light to it. And you're hating on this man? Come on now. I'm with Coach Prime on this one, Brad. I don't even see how people can even... I get the whole disrespect thing about going for it with 40 seconds left with backups, but besides that, Coach Prime is HBCU football right now.
Yeah, like I said, I think this whole thing it's been, they've both been kind of slick comments here, slick comment there the whole week. From everything I've heard, they've been kind of bickering but back and forth, the whole week.
Well, they scheduled Jackson State as a homecoming game.
Yeah, I don't know who
He took that butt whooping on homecoming game.
Yeah. I don't know who he thought they were. But, I mean, but the thing was, Coach Eddie tried to make a statement. He thought that he was going to be able to put Jackson State on homecoming and make a statement in front of the world to see. He knows what Deion brings to the table. I mean, that goes right into play on who is SWAC. We all know Prime is SWAC. Let's be real. Let's ask any 16, 17-year-old white kid where Coach Deion is right now. He's going to be able to tell you Jackson State, and he's going to be able to tell you a little bit about it. As a matter of fact, I can probably guarantee you, any one of these little white football athletes can even tell you a few players on the team. Let's go back
games.
Come on. Let's go back 5 years ago. We can ask another, top white athlete kid who's Jackson State? What do they have? Who's on the roster? They
Shout out
wouldn't
to
tell
PJ
you
Wheelock.
nothing. They wouldn't be able to tell you nothing. So that comment, I thought that was just him going off emotion. He was upset. His team lost on homecoming. It didn't go the way he wanted it. I mean, he clearly wanted this win very badly. You can already tell. But as far as the famous play call, the hitch and go with 40 seconds left with the backups in the game, he's not wrong in that case. You do run the ball out. You do kneel the ball. It's just common courtesy. It's an unwritten rule. You know it's an unwritten rule. You don't do that.
If you're scared that next year they're going to have the upper hand. Coach Prime just told him, I'm not scared that you're ever going to have the upper hand. You will never have the upper hand in this relationship. You will never have the upper hand. So I'm going to be the one to decide whether or not we run it up every year, not you.
I see both sides. I do see both sides because obviously, one of the quotes from the great Bobby Bowden, it's not my job to, like you said, to stop myself. I don't care if I put in the second and third stringers. They got to score. They got a job to play for too.
Exactly.
So I do understand it, but in this situation, I'm not putting in my backups. And there's 5 minutes left, and I'm already up. It's 40 seconds left. My backups are in. They just out there getting PT, man. They not even getting
Let's put this
cardio.
in terms of Vegas real quick. So they won by 14, right?
Yes.
Let's say the spread was 20. And Coach Prime was looking out for the Mugs at 21. You would love him then, wouldn't you?
I mean, if I had that money on it and Coach Rob threw that deep pass, hell yeah.
Exactly. So he can be mad about all he wants. At the end of the day, it's not Coach Prime's job to sit on the ball. Coach Prime's job is to make sure these kids are ready to get to the next level, to win games, to develop. Every time you see a YouTube video before pregame, he has scouts out there. Mm-hmm. When have you known a bunch of NFL scouts to be at HBCU football game?
Hasn't happened. Not in a long time.
And they feel comfortable out there. They're always dapping up Prime. He's making sure they feel welcome. Mm-hmm. He's bringing attention to the game for HBCU kids.
He's giving them a chance.
HBCU kids that go unnoticed have to get a tryout and stuff when they should be getting drafted.
Agreed.
Like Darius Leonard.
Yep.
Darius Leonard, one of the best linebackers in the NFL, was drafted, 5th, 6th round?
Yep. Barely
Coming
got
from,
that.
South Dakota State? Or South Carolina State. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're 100% right on that. I mean, and another one of the comments that, I talked to my dad and my mom about the situation. My mom, for those of you who didn't know, graduated from Jackson State. So she's obviously all about Coach Prime. But one thing that Coach Eddie said that he felt like it was not classy for Coach Dion to, take the long way around to his team and walk through his side of the end zone. Anybody who has seen any Jackson State game, Coach Dion does it to every team. He walks the long way around every time. He takes that long end zone every time. He wasn't making them feel special. He does that every time to everybody. Sure, maybe he is a little more, respectful to the coaches. He might shake their hand, talk to them a little bit, but he does that every time. Like, Coach Eddie, you aren't special in that sense, in that case.
Let's be honest, that was the excuse anyways. Him and his players came out with that energy, that Black Air Force energy to begin with. They have mic'd up, they have video of the players cursing out trainers, Jackson State trainers, cheerleaders, Dion when he's walking by, anybody. They just wanted to have that energy. They wanted to try to find that smoke, that something to push them over the top to beat Jackson State, which they couldn't find because like their coach asked for a couple years ago, he told Deion, bring all them 4 stars and 5 stars and see what happens. And he brought him. And now he's 0-2 against him?
Yep.
So he keeps asking for it, and it's not getting any better.
Now, which you did bring up Coach Eddie's dad. You want to give us a little bit about him really quick?
So for those who don't know, who didn't grow up in a house full of HBCU alums or raised on that culture, his father is a legend in the game of football. Eddie G. Robinson, he was the leader of wins for the longest time. He spent 57 seasons in college football. If you heard of Grambling State, for me, I'm not a big Grambling person because my family's Southern. That's a Bayou Classic. But his grandpa, over 400 wins, or his dad, over 400 wins. And he's a legend in like every sense of the word.
Yeah, it's
the fact that he put HBCUs really on the map because he was constantly winning at Grambling. And basically, since he left the game, we really don't hear nothing about HBCUs anymore until Deion showed up. So that's my thing to say, to not pay homage to Deion, because I know his father would have.
Yep.
Because of what he's doing, bringing back the love, the attention to the game, to the HBCUs. Because really, people say Travis Hunter, they bought him and stuff. You don't think Florida State was buying him?
Right.
You don't think Georgia was trying to buy him? All these kids can be bought, but it's a problem when they go to HBCU. They're not going to get developed. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because all it takes is one, and it's a trickle-down effect.
Yep.
I do believe with the college football playoff and this 12-team playoff, and everyone moving to 2 conferences, it's going to mess up a lot of stuff for teams on the rise like Jackson State. But that should be interesting to see down the line. But just to know that his father is such like a figure in the HBCU community. And really, if you know football history, he's like a figure in college football completely. Yep. And you're doing what you're doing right now. What would he say about that? That's all I think about. That's about it for me. But
I mean, that's a great question, because even if Coach Eddie was around, if Coach Eddie Sr. was around, he would ask him the same thing. So who do you consider SWAC? I mean, is it you? What have you done? To help put not only your team, because Alabama State, we don't hear about them.
No.
So what are you doing to put your team, your kids, on a pedestal? Let's start there, because if you're not doing that for your team, how can you do it for a whole conference? And at this point in Coach Prim's career already, he has already put Jackson State, on a pedestal. At this point, he's already got the attention of Jackson State. He can do whatever he wants with Jackson State. He's the king of Jackson right now. Now now it's about the conference. He's trying to help the conference. I mean, look at some of the other coaches he's brought in. Grambling has a big name coach right now.
Hugh Jackson.
Yeah, they got Hugh Jackson leading the way right now. You think Hugh would have went there, if he didn't see Coach Deion out there having that success, being that inspiration to help get these kids to the next level as well? I don't think so. So it's bigger. It's way bigger than Jackson State. It's way bigger than Alabama State. What Coach Deion is doing is huge. And he will even say, first and foremost, it's about the players. It's about the kids. That is who it's about. And he has time and time again shown that he stands 10 toes behind that.
And people are better not, he said in his press conference, if he doesn't go to a Power 5, you better hope he doesn't go to a Power 5. For your program's sake, you better hope he doesn't go to a Power 5. Because then, why do the white people have to watch HBCUs anymore? You got nice bands?
Yep. Yep, HBCUs just go right back to the gutter. And it sucks to say that because guys like me and you, we watch it. We're football fans. And we're obviously going to support.
We grew up in houses where our parents are from the South.
Exactly.
Your mom graduated from Jackson State. My grandma graduated from Southern. I have two cousins that just recently graduated from Jackson State. I have a little cousin who's currently playing at Mississippi Valley. So
Yep.
I'm like, we've been ingratiated in the HBCU community since we were young.
Yeah. I mean, my mom and my auntie graduated from Jackson State. I have a cousin that graduated from Grambling, another cousin that just graduated from Southern. I mean, I'm right there with you. So, for me, and I can even tell you, man, my mom has shown so much interest in football this year. Now that she can actually see it, she doesn't have to go online. She does not have to try to find a link. She can turn on her TV. Boom, Jackson State's on. Boom. Didn't we just watch Mississippi Valley State on TV? Wasn't somebody just on TV? I mean, it's huge. This is huge. And like I said, this is my mom. Like this is a female who is athletic. She's into sports, but she never took interest. She never took interest in football. But now, she's already gone. She went to the Jackson State fam game. Like she's going to games. She's watching every week. She's tuned in. She's dialed in. Coach Dion helped make that happen.
Now you pull him away. You send him to Georgia Tech. It goes back to the way it was. Everyone
right
just
back.
going for the fifth quarter, going to watch the bands.
Yep.
Because the Sonic Boom is good. I ain't gonna lie to you. They're
They,
not better than Southern, but the Sonic Boom in the Jackson 5, they be doing their thing. I ain't gonna lie on them.
Yeah, it's been nice, man. It's been really nice to see him. And like you said, at this point, we don't want Coach Prime to leave. And it's not even just for my little biasness and a little bit of Jackson State that I have. It's just like you said, it's for the SWAC, for HBCUs. This is beautiful, man. I love to see him stay, and even if he does go, since Coach Eddie is trying to push this narrative so much, he better be ready to pick up the torch. Mm-hmm. He has the name behind him. He has the name. We know
The thing is, like, you want to realize Dion's not even doing this for money. He has that.
Yeah.
The money he gets from Jackson State, he puts back into Jackson State.
Exactly.
They just got a new locker room. They got a new weight room. Everything. The reason why HBCUs were falling so far behind was facilities.
Yep.
So now he's putting it back into it. And that's what we've needed. Like, even though Eddie George is at Tennessee State, you don't hear nothing about Tennessee State after they played Jackson.
Nope, not at all.
HBCUs right now need Dion. They need Dion until Shadur graduates or goes pro, whichever one comes first. Because they need success at the NFL level.
Yes.
And buy-in. So we need Shadur to go. You just get drafted. We need who did I bring up earlier? Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
We need Travis Hunter to develop and be that number one pick he was going to be if he went to Florida State.
Right.
Because if he's anything less, they're going to say, well, if you went to Florida State, you would have been the number one pick. Which, that has nothing to do with it.
Yep.
Florida State isn't going to make him better.
Agreed. I agree 100%. And I would even, to piggyback off that, him coming in, like you just said, I forgot, that Tennessee State brought in Eddie George.
Exactly.
So now we do have Eddie George in. We do have Hugh Jackson in. Like I said, this is just the beginning. If he can stick around long enough that we can keep building big name coaches, or even coaches who've been at the next level, who's seen, who knows what it's going to take, who's going to help do the same thing for their school. That's how you start taking over. That's how you get back. Like I said, he's the start. He's the face of it all. Mm-hmm. But in the path he's going, it's the right path. He just needs to keep getting guys in other positions and on other staffs to do the exact same thing and to put back into it themselves. And then we're back.
the SWAC is needed change anyways because then you have to you can't even win your conference championship without missing the D1 playoffs.
Yep.
So in freaking Grambling and Southern play a game while the playoffs are going on. So that it's needed to be fixed for a while. But our people are so wrapped up in history. Deion's trying to break us out that mold and put these kids back in the limelight where we belong.
Yes.
And because let's be honest, 60 years ago, when our parents weren't even born yet, most of these kids would be going to HBCUs.
Yep.
They wouldn't be allowed in Bama. They wouldn't be allowed in Texas. And now they monopolize the game based on funds and restricting the other lower programs.
Yep.
Because I've heard some kind of crazy stat. Texas A&M spent $1 billion in the last 3 years on football. I don't know if that's for the roster or anything, but we all know they buy players. But
I knew you was gonna throw it in there.
But $1 billion. We're just talking about Deion giving up $1 million for facilities.
Right.
These people put $1 billion into football. That's including travel, new facilities, upgrades, everything like that.
Food, the best food.
And most of the food they're probably throwing away because you can't feed all them people. You can't use all that food.
Yep. Yep.
It's a $1 billion industry, and Deion's trying to help them catch up, but some of them don't want to be helped.
And I'm glad you brought up past, because a lot of the youth don't realize that some of the greatest players, especially offense,
Eddie George,
have come from HBCUs. I can even take you Walter Payton.
Oh, I'm sorry, George. Yeah, I meant Walter Payton.
Yeah, Walter Payton, Jackson
Jerry
State.
Rice.
Jerry Rice. You're talking about all-time greats. Walter Payton's the top 3 back of all time. Jerry Rice, top 2 wide receiver of all time.
Debatable, but yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Steve McNair. We're talking guys. You're talking big name guys. And they can get back to that. Like you said, guys like Shaquille, Darius Leonard. He's bringing it. He's trying to put them back on as well. There's other guys out there that, if you sit down and watch, sometimes you will be hard pressed to say, how are some of these athletes not playing for Alabama? Exactly. How are they not playing for Oregon? How are they not playing for Ohio State? You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the youth would never know. They would never see it because they were never there. They were never on TV.
Now they get that shot, and Coach A. Robinson, he doesn't want them to get that shot anymore. He just wants everything to go back the way it was, where he can just do what he does quietly.
I guess so, man. I guess he just needs to show me who is SWAC.
That's what I want to know.
I'm trying to hear you, brother. I'm trying to hear you, dog. But
who is SWAC? That is the question. Man? Hey, in the comments, who is SWAC?
Who is SWAC?
I know his daddy basically invented the SWAC, but does he get to decide who is SWAC? Did he do the blood, sweat, and tears to make the SWAC? I don't know if he gets to decide.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
Yeah, definitely let us know. I mean, this, like you said, this is going to be something that we're going to hear about a lot during this week, but you're going to hear it being nitpicked and touched on throughout the season, especially if you're watching the SWAC. So definitely keep us updated. Tune in. Give those guys a listen. Give them a watch. I'm telling you, you'll be surprised on who you see out there. You'll be surprised in a year or two that you might sit back on Sundays and say, "Damn, I think I just watched him, a couple years ago. What school was that? Alcorn State. That's where I saw this kid play. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. So give those guys a watch. While you're doing that, though, you got to give us a listen, a shout out, a follow, and a subscribe. But not only just to my podcast here at NBA, also give My boy Wicks, a shout out, a follow, a subscribe at FDL. Film Doesn't Lie. Very, very great work over there. I'm going to let him tell y'all what he does over there if you don't already know.
You already know, we just break down the film of the best players in the country. Our latest video was on the 2024 quarterback class. If you already know, there's a bunch of ballers out there. Are they as good as the 23 class? You have to go check it out. I don't know. That'd be you for you to decide. The film's there.
That's right. Go check it out, guys. Another great show as always. Wicks, thank you for being part of it, as always.
Well, of course, brother. Love.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Deuces.
Kingsy go crazy.